Hey everyone, Apostle Ward here, and I've been a little slow with getting to you because I felt like I need to watch my words, first of all. My dad taught me a long time ago, baby, be careful what comes out your mouth because you can't take it back. It's far too late and it can be misconstrued, it could cause injury, it could do a lot of damage. And with everything that we're facing around the world, not to mention right here in my own hometown, Omaha, Nebraska, I wanted to make sure that my words were tried. I have so many phone calls from you guys asking, okay, Apostle, what's the word? How are we gonna handle things? And so it took me to a flashback, so to speak, and that was basically when 9/11. I remember being downstairs in the basement. I can't think of the church, but I know it was over in South Omaha, and I was down supporting my pastor or something. I really wasn't the word carrier. I was just there to support. By the time I climbed up out of that basement from having a really wonderful day, is when I got the news that we had experienced 9/11, the chaos, the devastation that went across our country. I'll never forget it. And even in that moment, I got home. And here it is, the words that I'm hearing from you even today. I want to share a message that I got today, which really touched my heart and really caused me to do this video right now. And so I want you to be patient with me as I pull it up. But basically, what it's saying is, what should we be thinking about, Apostle? How should we handle things? And my dear friend writes this. Hi, Apostle Ward. My heart is heavy this week, and it keeps coming back to you for guidance. I'm lost in faith right now, first with the pandemic, and now the sadness and anger that blankets our beautiful city. How do we get through this? What should we be doing? What can I do to help all sides, including our friends in the blue, referring to the police? You have helped me to find answers in the past. How do we heal our city? Um, mm, when I read that message, it went all the way through me. But that's only one of many. I want to say, first of all, let's clear the air. Was she white? Was he black? I think the important thing is, it really doesn't matter. I had a great bishop say one day, and I'll never forget his words. He said it takes the white and the black keys to make beautiful music on the piano. I really haven't found that to be untrue. I haven't found that to be untrue even into today. So I want to refer to a couple tools and a couple things that I'd like to say that I believe would help in this present dilemma we're facing. Number one, for those of you who've already purchased my book, I want to say thank you. But the cover was different then because I went back and revamped the book in March of this year, March 2020. So I'm going to put it close so you can see it. Somebody Do Something. You have the crime scene, and then you have by Apostle Vanessa Ward. On the back, it kind of goes into an ending, like a beginning and an ending. First, you got all the crime, and then you see people from every race, every creed coming together on a commonality. A commonality means to me, this is what I've learned over the years, you have to be able to unify people in the worst of times, especially by number one, getting them to believe. Believe in what? Believe in your God, your Jesus, your religion. I find out you have the freedom of choice. You choose what you want to believe. But there are some commonalities that none of us can get away from. Number one, we need air. We need food. We need water. We're not here by our own, so we had some kind of family relation. There are things that we believe in and there's things we don't. But we do believe in life, the pursuit of happiness. We could go on through the Constitution and list every last one of them, but I don't feel like I need to do that tonight. I feel like the only thing that truly matters is understanding that when people believe in a commonality, and you got to find it, that's putting in the work. You can't just expect people to follow you because of you. But the belief system, it has to be something that touches, that reaches out to all. Number two, there has to be an interest. How is this interest serving me? How is this interest going to best serve my family? How will this help me to keep food on the table? Everybody wants to be safe. Nobody wants to feel like anybody's going to loot, anybody's going to rob, anybody's going to kill. Everybody wants their health. These interests are here. These are not even debatable. These are things that it takes for us as humans to strive, survive, and live. As a result of that, belief in an interest, and then to gather. And to gather in one accord, you're talking healing. You're talking power. So we've been hit hard around the world with this pandemic. We've been hit hard. We have been forced, literally, to go into isolation. Isolation brings separation. Separation brings division. And when those things are manifesting and those things are being strengthened, you're creating the perfect turf for a fire. It's dry. There's no humility. No humility. I like that word, but I wanted to say no humidity. So it becomes very easy for a spark to cause the whole thing to just take off. And we're experiencing that. And then let me say something else about the isolation. We're still being held in by martial law now, curfew, 8, here in Omaha. I don't know what it is across the country. 8 a.m., 8 p.m., be home. 6 a.m., you can start your work life again. So once again, we're in that place of isolation. Stay home to be safe, or stay home because you have no choice. We are facing a very dry time where anything as bad as what has already happened or what could happen next. We're in that place. So I want to just refer to my book again before I share anything more. Somebody Do Something was something that was very real for me I think I wrote my first copy of this in 2008. Here we are, 2020. Let me just read a little bit from the introduction. It says, while reports of violent outbursts are increasing across the country and around the world, we need solutions. Writing this book is an attempt to show what can happen when we demonstrate daring and successful actions which brings hope into the life of the community that appears desperately hopeless. I think I'm preaching to the choir now. Because with this isolation and all of the above, hopelessness is really what causes chaos. It's also the basic of let's not even try. Hopelessness means whatever goes because why, what difference does it make? And that's what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with a very, very strong underturf that's pulling us down and pulling us in at such a rapid rate. We do need solutions. There are many myths and misconceptions that take shape around people's lives who are affected directly or indirectly by violence. Questions arise such as, who do we blame for these acts of violence? Do we blame society, school systems, police departments, political leaders, churches, or parents? My prayers, and this was true then, 2008, and even before I wrote the book, my prayers are as you read this book, you will understand that no matter who the blame may rest upon, to choose to do nothing in order to create a climate of unity and love in our communities is worse than finding fault. So no matter who we blame, no matter who we're coming up against, if we don't understand that the power to make a change right where we are, it starts with me. It starts with you. It starts with understanding how important it is for us to engage one another in a way that's wholesome, in a way that's welcoming, in a way that's understanding. I've never seen anything else work. I've lived through maybe 4 main riots that I can think of and how the outcome came. And everybody says, well, now we can get back to normal. Why would we want to? In order for the riots to get out of hand in the first place, normal obviously was not the way. Let me finish this up. This book is designed to challenge us to examine ourselves and gauge how willing are we to step out of our comfort zones. How far are you willing to extend yourself for the success of the mission? And how long will you stand for change? Protesting or not protesting is only one movement of lifting your voice. There has to be some kind of organized struggle. There has to be some kind of means of moving us to a place of improvement, even after the protest. And that usually becomes the journey that few people want to embark upon, or will even be willing to withstand the onslaught of what that's going to entail. How far, the question is tonight, are you willing to extend yourself for the success of the mission? All of these questions and many others were answered for me as I started on my journey to transform a condition of life that was totally unsatisfactory. I hope you will find answers also. The violence in this country will not decrease until we as individuals take more responsibility to connect beyond our own property lines and our own drive-in garages. Community without unity will only exist, but it will never survive. This book will also give practical insight to the first steps toward promoting a strong community and exploring how I got started. All of the accounts of the book are factual. Many of the names in the book have been changed for the sake of privacy. It doesn't, please hear me this evening, it doesn't take a large number of people or a large amount of money to encourage unity. However, it does take somebody willing to do something. This is a great tool. It's a great tool because it's written from the heart. Not only that, it's been proven to work. Who would have thought? In a high-risk neighborhood with this blanket of gloom hanging over it because of murder, mayhem, crime, isolation, who would have thought? Anything could have been done to make a difference. Question tonight. How many of you think with all we're facing, the pandemic, then we have the protesting, we have murder right before our eyes, we are so connected through social media. But when it comes to Walmart, we're so isolated. I don't want you breathing on me. Get 6 feet behind me. How can I trust that you won't be the death of me and my family? Yeah. Now let's get through all of this and start working on solutions. So when I came from the basement of the church, referring back to 9/11, the phone call that touched me the most is the one with this note that I just read to you. It touched me. I could give a lot of political statements. For those of you who voted for me, you know I was out there running for governor. History will never be changed. I'm the first black woman that ever attempted to run for the governor of this state. And, you know what I'm saying, and did very well, quite frankly. Over nearly 30,000 people felt me and understood that my presence was sincere. Some people said, aren't you glad you didn't make it with all that we're facing now? I can't say yeah. I really can't say that. Because some of the practices that I would have put in place to try to diffuse this mayhem might be just a little different, only because I understand what it takes to bring people together. Am I politicking now? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not at all. But what I am sharing is personal experience to tell you what I've learned, what I know works, and what I feel like I've been forced to come out and say. Psalms 46. So when I got home, 9/11 again, from the church, coming out of the basement, to find out what we were facing as a country, I said, "Oh Lord," and the phone calls. That's what always motivates me. It's you. It's you people. I care. And when I hear your heart and I see you searching, I'll be like, okay. I can't reach every one of you. So what I usually do is I resort to what I've got right now, and that's the media. That's the tool that I'm working with now to work together to share what I know. So anyway, I heard the Lord's voice, and you'll hear me refer to that over and over in my book. I heard the Lord's voice to say, "Give my people this answer." And I'm going to read a little bit to you. It says, Psalms 46. God is our refuge and strength. He's a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way, though the mountains be moved into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains tremble at its swelling. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in her midst. She shall not be moved. God will help her when the morning dawns. The nations rage, the kingdoms totter. He utters his voice, the earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come, behold the works of the Lord, how he has brought desolation on the earth. He makes the wars to cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bows and shatters the spear. He burns the chariot with fire. So what do you want me to do? Verse 10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted among the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob. He is our fortress. And then the word Selah means think, ponder, think on this, think on this, think on this. So what am I saying? Once I got on the telephone and I began to share that scripture and began and you know 9/11, come on now, you know how many years we've been through that. And then I can go back to the civil rights movement and I'm watching my neighborhood burn in the 60s. And then there's Rodney King, and then right here on the local level, there is Vivian Strong. I've seen some violence. I've seen some things come out of protests and the people rising to say, no more. Okay? I'm with you. At this point, I want to play a little selection for you. This I chose to play because I wanted you to just kind of hear. I kind of, anyway, this is me in the song, but it's mine. I don't have to have the copyright. But I wanted to just share my heart just a little bit with you. And then I'm going to close out. Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to rise up. I'm going to rise up and call myself blessed. Now, Lord, in the name of Jesus, I'm praying, Father God, that you will bless from the front to the back, from the top and the bottom of this establishment, Lord. I thank you now, God, in Jesus' name for Carl, his family, Lord, his children's children. I pray now, God, for Phyllis. I thank you for all the creative things that you've placed in her life. I thank you, God, for that husband of mine and my children, Lord, in Jesus' name. I'm asking now, Lord, that you will move so magnificently on the behalf of our state, Nebraska, and Lord, especially North Omaha. I give you glory. I bless you, Lord, when I rise up, and I bless you when I lay down. Now, God, in the name pray and to give you all the glory. In Jesus' name, I say amen and amen. No quitting in me. Rise up. I can't rise up. I'm gonna rise up. Rise up. I can't stop. Rise up. I'm gonna rise up. Rise up. Rise up. I'm gonna rise up and call myself blessed. Come on, thank you now, Lord, in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah now. Rise up. Rise up. Rise up. Rise up. I'm gonna rise up. Rise up. Rise up. I'm gonna rise up. What am I saying here? What I'm saying basically is this. The victory is already in the camp. It's already here because it's in you. How you choose to move in this time of pandemic and this time of national upheaval and uprising, that's your right. If you want to protest, but you're going to have to protest within the confines of the law. It's all right if you choose not to say anything. It's all right if you want to wear a mask. It's all right if you don't. But at the end of the day, we want to rise up and we want to be big. We want to believe in the interests of all, and we want to gather in unity and peace. That's the solution. I've had so many stories of people telling me that the white brethren and sister have risen up in a way like, hey, I want to tell you, I feel you. I feel your pain. I may not be able to identify with it. I may not even be able to understand it, but I can feel your pain. I had one young man say a white lady touched him at the store and said, I know Black Lives Matter. He said it almost took him to tears. I see the good rising up in all of this, more than the media is giving credit to. There's a whole bunch of wonderful things that are happening in the midst of this dilemma. So how do I feel in answer to my dear friend's request? What can we do to bring healing and support? Keep smiling. Somebody hear that? Smile. When you can tell people are afraid, intimidated, feeling hopeless. Wow. It wasn't my neighborhood. Extend yourself, especially in your own neighborhood, especially at home. Always speak love, not hate. We'll get through this. All we got to do is keep believing, sharing our common interests, and gathering together, even if the limit is what it is right now. Don't forget to greet your neighbor over the back fence. Don't forget when you're driving to be considerate and courteous. We'll get through this. And like I said, it's not about getting back to normal. It's about going forward for greater. And we can do that. We the people. We got this. So just kind of closing with my song. I'm not quitting. I'm just on a different plane of rising up for greatness. So what am I saying in closing? Let's rise. But let's rise to be big. I'm going to finish it out. And then I will see you later. Okay? And I want to say thank you for everything. Thank you for the support, okay? We're going to rise up. No quitting. Don't forget, subscribe. Get my revised version. Somebody do something. Let's do it big. See you later, okay? See you later.